Talking to the Dead, Chapter 23. In this particular chapter, we're really noticing that none of it's true. The teacher isn't here. The student isn't here. None of it is here. Compassion drives all of this. Compassion towards the one receiving or perceiving. Of course, that begins and ends only and ever with the one listening to this now. If you cannot offer it that compassion, how can you offer that to anything outside of it? It is, in fact, the driving force of it all. How we care about and how we treat this thing that seems to be allowing us to have this experience is one of the most crucial pieces that gets missed. We call it a cliche. Oh, pookosh, self-love, schmelf-love. Yet, the avatar, this thing allowing the allness to have this experience, must emphatically be treated as the amazing explorer that it is. When we are loving it as much as it is allowing us to love this, it all harmonizes. When there's no disrespect towards any of it, including the receiver and the perceiver. We get confused. We look at some that seem to have more than we do, and we expect so much from them. We don't do our own inner work. We get lazy and sloppy. We look to others to fulfill and answer our needs and make us feel whole. That will always, always end in suffering. They will somehow fail us. We will lose our interest in them and move to another teacher without ever stopping and pausing to look at the projector projecting the image on the screen. This is the writing that I read, and it really, really says it all. A Zen master had a faithful but very naive student who regarded him as a living Buddha. One day the master accidentally sat down upon a needle. He screamed, "Ouch!" and jumped into the air. The student instantly lost all of his faith. He stopped following this teacher and said how disappointed he was to find that his master was not fully enlightened. Otherwise, he thought, how could he jump up and scream out loud like that? Every bit of unwavering faith left with him, and back to the start of his journey he began. The master was saddened when he realized his student had left and simply said, without emotion, "Alas, poor man, if only he had known that in reality neither I, nor the needle, nor the ouch really ever existed." How many times upon the avatar's road, when the one listening to this felt the closest to itself, did it find reason to lose faith in what it seemed to be mastering? How many variables along the river of life do we seem to venture off to, attempting to row the boat of life in the opposite direction, exhausting ourselves, being angry that we wasted so much time in that last apparent loop? We believe we're going to find something better. The grass is greener the pastures wider, but the earnestness and willingness to discover and uncover what is truth lies always right here with the one that seems to be noticing all of it without any attachment to any of it. When the avatar reacts, when there seems to be a yes or a no, it's back in the dream of duality. It will always suffer here until it's willing to keep looking back beyond the projection and even beyond the projector. It is a solo journey. It can be pointed to over and over again. Yet it, the one listening to this now, must have a tiny willingness to lean in the cracks in the pavement and allow those to expand. That too will do itself. Yet listening to this is a mustard seed that's been planted, which is enough to begin the crops growing in between those cracks and the sidewalks. The irony is that exact experience was arising for the avatar. It was an opportunity afforded to it by the allness to investigate the projection and the projector and the witness of it all. Yet it made it personal. It made it a reason to throw the whole thing away and start again. It became frustrated. It wanted to point the finger at someone else and make the story about them yet again. Now it had its evidence to retreat and start at the beginning. And more often than not, it will go off, point fingers at the master and tell others to stay away. How confused, how confusing, how very, very, very sad. Yet this too is part of the perfect unraveling. Variances are not here to harm us. At times they can be frustrating. But if there is that continued willingness to look back and do the inner work and watch it unravel, that student can once again find clarity in the moment. No need to restart anything, just laughter ensuing at itself. Rejoining the master the next morning to have a giggle together at nothingness. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Much love until next time.